Hello and welcome. My name is Amy. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope you're having a really good day. I hope that you have been able to connect to something today that really touches your soul and helps remind you of what is good in this world. I did do something like that today. I watched American Idol, and there is nothing, no TV show that touches me the way that that does. I feel like being able to witness other people connecting to their own souls in such an authentic and vulnerable and pure way makes me feel it as if it's my own experience, and it is so inspiring to me. And if you're not feeling great today, well, then you're in the right place, because this is a place that is safe and it is meant for you to just feel comfortable and inspired and just really allowing yourself to be exactly who and what you are in this moment. That leads me into what I want to talk about today, and it's really just the idea of what is a spiritual journey? Because I think that there are a lot of ideas that you become spiritual by tuning into your psychic gifts, if you have them, and that certain people have them and some people don't, and it's all just the things that feel really good. But that has not been my experience, and so I just want to kind of share what I see it as, and hopefully you resonate with this, or there's just something that I say that really helps to normalize something in your experience. I feel that the spiritual journey is a remembering. It's us coming back to our souls. It is us stripping away the human aspects that are not meant to be a part of this experience and journey. I really believe that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And with that comes emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, and social aspects. As whole beings, we can't just focus on the spiritual and think that we can ignore the other parts. If we're not looking at our emotional health and how we're feeling, if we're not really seeing ourselves with humility and taking responsibility for the things we need to take responsibility for and finding forgiveness for ourselves and others, those human emotions are going to stay dense, and they're going to keep us feeling heavy and weighed down. That keeps us really in that 3D energy, the human energy. And to connect more to the spiritual energy, which is at least 5D or higher, it's pretty much impossible then to actually get to that space. Even though it feels like work, and it is technically the work, it's so beautiful, and the anticipation of doing it is so much harder than actually doing it and experiencing it. My spiritual awakening really started about 10 years ago. I had been on the quest for a while, but my big aha moment was almost 10 years ago now, and I could have never imagined the amount of work it would take, and seeing myself and having to strip away the heavy, dense aspects of me and the trauma and look at it. And I still have to look at it, but I feel like this is the experience I was meant to be having. It was meant to feel joyful and expansive and abundant. It wasn't for so long though, and it's because I lacked awareness. I wasn't able to see myself from any other place. I was leading from my ego. I was leading from a very narrow-minded view, as if everything was happening to me, as if I was a victim, and not at all from a place that was connected to my soul. But my whole life, I have felt that deep calling for more. I am so grateful that I continued following that and listening to that, even in my absolute lowest points, because it is that continued to carry me through. It was following that light that felt almost made up at times. Like, okay, there's something in my intuition telling me to continue on this path, but everything around me is showing me something completely opposite. And that's where one of my favorite quotes, you've probably heard me say it on here, is seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. We need to follow that part of us. That is our soul that speaks to us, whether it speaks to you from just an inner knowing, from your heart, from your gut. Following that is where your highest alignment and timeline are at. And so to be able to connect more and more to that, we have to remove the noise and the density that makes it impossible to tune into that, because that's also at a higher frequency And it's a lot quieter than our egos and our minds and everybody else. It's also about really looking at ourselves physically. And I don't mean what your body looks like, but how you feel. Do you feel connected to your body? Do you feel healthy? Are you taking care of your body? When there is a pain or an ailment, do you actually tune into it and figure out how to take care of yourself? Or are you ignoring it? Are you moving your body and allowing the energy to literally move through you? Or is it really stagnant? This has been a huge part for me. I started yoga about 9 years ago also, and I never could have imagined the impact yoga has had on me. I still practice several times a week. I taught for a while, and the way that my body feels by actually allowing it to release the emotions that get trapped in us, the energies, it's something you can't really explain unless you experience it. It's a feeling. It's a lightening. This is also how we're connected to our minds and our thoughts. And are we identifying as if we are our thoughts, or do we realize that we have a choice in them? That there's another part of us, the part of us that observes the thoughts, that is our higher self, that is our soul. But when we identify as if we're the thoughts, we're identifying from our egos. This too is a part of the spiritual path. It is being able to recognize, being able to move yourself back, find this place of stillness, actually observe that you are not your thoughts. You are not your mind. You are not your judgments and insecurities and fears. And really being able to recognize that and say, I don't actually believe that. I'm actually not insecure. Recognizing how much of those parts of you are just learned behavior, and it's simply a lack of awareness that you have a choice, and there is a part of you that is so much stronger. That's the part of you that comes from empowerment, and that is very much connected to your solar plexus. In my experience, this is also very much our social world, and that, I forget what the exact quote is, but something about how the people we spend our most amount of time with are a reflection of who we are, and that is so true. One of the things that felt hardest for me at the start of my spiritual journey was recognizing the people and energies that I was not aligning with anymore. Although at the beginning it felt challenging to allow these relationships to evolve and move how they needed to, it felt so good over time, and I didn't need to force it anymore. There was no more people pleasing. There was no more of this obligation to maintain something that really was showing a lot of resistance. It matters your environments. It matters the energies you surround yourself with. It matters if you're around people who inspire you. And if you don't have many of those people accessible to you in your life right now, or you just aren't around many people, this is a really good place to connect. Podcasts, YouTube, things like that, I do believe are one of the coolest aspects of where technology has gone, is that it allows us to connect on a deeper level with people who are expansive, and we need to follow that expansion. We need to see what's possible. If we don't see more of what's possible, our imagination will certainly help with that, but we're going to go so much further when we hear from other people that inspire us and show us what you are capable of. And then finally, it is just as much about your actual spiritual connection and experience here as a human being. And that's where finding meditation and finding stillness and quiet has allowed me to go deeper. It's inside, it's not outside of us, but there are aspects outside of us that will certainly help us connect more internally. For me, that's nature. It is moving my body, but in a way that is really tuned into my feminine energy, meaning it's not forced, it's not super sweaty if I don't want it to be, it's not filled with expectations. It is exactly what aligns for me that day. Maybe it's a run, maybe it's a walk, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's Pilates. I'm allowing my body and my instincts to let me know what I need that day, and being okay with that and knowing that that is perfect. And that is enough. And by doing these other things like recalibrating our social scene and not feeling obligated to do things that are no longer in alignment with us, by really learning how to take care of yourself physically and mentally, all of this, they're all tied in with each other. And what's beautiful is that as you start to look at one area, you don't have to do that much work in all the areas. A lot of it just starts to blend and mold together. It balances itself out. And everything that is meant for you to experience is going to happen. If a part of that for you is connecting deeper to your psychic gifts, then that will happen through all of these other experiences as well. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to say, this is what I'm doing next. And if this isn't working, then I'm not doing this anymore. Allow your intuition to guide you, to show you what that next step is, what that next clue is. It might be just going to bed. It might be taking a shower to remove all of the energy from this day. It might be a meditation. When you click off of this video, take a moment to actually tune into your body, take just a few seconds quietly with your breath and see what you feel is your next indicated action. It starts with these small daily moments. We think it needs to be these big, extravagant moments, but that's not how it works. It's a journey. It is a journey back to ourselves. It is a journey of remembering. And so to remember, we need to remove the things that have been causing us to forget it all. And any of that comes from lower vibrations. It comes from fear. And you know, as much as it is very important to look at the things that come from fear, our traumas, all of that, I love that sometimes it is as simple as just shifting my focus and saying, what is bringing me joy right now? Where is the love? Maybe I don't need to keep overthinking all of this and getting into this and feeling all these big emotions. Perhaps I can just be here in this moment and enjoy the beauty of it. And that's enough. That is you being present. It is you being more conscious. It is you remembering what your soul would prefer you to be doing anyway. Don't forget to take a moment to just quietly tune into your breath after this. You may want to check out some of my meditations or my energy healings, because all of those are meant to create that space for you as well. If you got anything out of this, please consider giving me a thumbs up, subscribing to my channel, and I would love to hear any comments, questions that you have, and I can't wait to see you here next time. Bye.